morning. Coming to you live in the gym in Solon Park, New Mexico. This is the 343 commitment and still counting 110 floor memorial stair climb for Battalion Chief Fred Scheffold from Battalion 12. Battalion 12 is housed in Harlem with engine 35 and ladder 14. This climb is dedicated to our brother's 32-year career with the FDNY. Our brother was 57 years old when he responded on 9/11. Dedicated to his wife, Joan, and 3 daughters. The only 2 that I could find data on were Kim and Karen. So I apologize for not being able to say the name of his 3rd daughter, but there's just not any information out there that I was able to locate on that. So this climb is dedicated to them. So the commitment climb is a total of 7 verticals. Once we get to the top of the 7th and last vertical, it takes us to the 101st floor, and then it's 9 floors after that to finish the climb. So we're just about to kick off that first vertical for our brother who gave 32 years of dedicated service to the FDNY and citizens of New York. So our brother, Battalion Chief Scheffold, was actually just finished his 24-hour tour, and he and Battalion Chief Marchbanks, also Battalion 12, were talking together on the morning of 9/11. When the call came out, Battalion Chief Marchbanks was on duty. Battalion Chief Scheffold had already gotten off duty while they were conversing. Well, Battalion Chief Scheffold jumped on with BC Marchbanks, and they both responded on 9/11. It said they set up in the lobby of the South Tower, and Battalion Chief Scheffold had planned to climb up to the 90th floor, but heard the building sound wasn't correct, and he started assisting, directing others to get out. Our brother was an avid runner, skier, and believe it or not, he was a painter and a sculptor, which he ended up painting his door purple, I believe, if I read it correctly. And he created a insect sculpture of wood and metal at the front of their house. One thing I also found out was BC Scheffold and BC Marchbanks were both from the same area, from Rockland. Again, as I said, this climb is dedicated to his wife Joan and 3 daughters, which 2 of them I know are Kim and Karen. Again, I wasn't able to find any information on their 3rd daughter to be able to make the dedication, so it's dedicated to her also. So an interesting story I found out when they went to an amusement park in New Jersey. They were in line for a roller coaster and noticed someone was having a heart attack. And BC Scheffold jumped into action right from the line itself and went to take care of this person. Additionally, it was said that BC Scheffold was the type that if you were injured, whether it was on the job or off the job, it didn't matter, that he would take care of you. He would stay with you until other help arrived. That's just the type of person that he was. So, for our brother right now, we're making this 110th floor journey all the way to the top. For his family, for the FDNY, they're at East Harlem on Battalion 12 with Engine 35, Ladder 14. This is your climb. Finishing his footsteps on that South Tower, taking him all the way to the 110th floor. Another brother going to reach that top at the completion of this climb. As I said before, our brother, Battalion Chief Scheffold, was actually just finished with his 24-hour shift. He and Battalion Chief Marchbanks were there talking, and when 9/11 hit and that call came out, our brother, like so many others, jumped on to respond to the worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil as part of the greatest rescue effort in U.S. history, where upwards of 25,000 were saved because of that bravery, valor, and heroism that was shown. One thing that I also found out was that BC Scheffold and BC Marchbanks actually share streets right next to where Battalion 12 is now. Right now, this is his 110, carrying him all the way to the very top with honor and respect for the sacrifice made so that others could live. Our brother was an avid runner, athletics. He was the self-titled news media junkie. He would actually try to read and catch up with anything. And it was said that even if you were the only person in the room that he was talking to, he wouldn't make you feel like you were the only person in the room. For his wife Joan and 3 daughters, your husband and father will never be forgotten. This is why we climb. This is why we tell their stories. Because we made a promise 19 years ago on 9/11 that we would never forget, that we would always remember. And right now, a lot of people across this country want to forget. So it's our responsibility to keep their names alive, so they don't just become a picture on a wall or a name on a plaque. Our brothers deserve honor and respect for the sacrifices made so that others could live. And right now, this is his 110 floors, pushing him up all the way to the very top. Battalion 12, housed with Engine 35, Ladder 14, taking them all the way to the very top, pushing them up one floor at a time to get there. For his family, for the FDNY, and for our country, his story will be told. So one thing I read, and I know I'm not going to get it 100% right, but there's a picture that's out there of a bird swallowing a frog, and the frog has its arms around the bird's neck, like it's not going to give up. It's fighting all the way down to the end. This is something that his daughters remind himself of their dad. The frog that wasn't going to let go, pushing it all the way, never giving up. That was BC Scheffold. Right now, this climb has given an honor and respect of the sacrifice made so that others could live. Pushing him all the way up, all the way to the top. Our brother, along with BC Marchbanks from Battalion 12, responded on 9/11. We're in the lobby area of the South Tower. BC Scheffold was planning on going up the stairwell to the 90th floor. While he was getting ready to do that, the building started making noises, and they concentrated their efforts to escorting people out, getting them into safe areas, guiding the rescue effort from the lobby. Our brother made the ultimate sacrifice so that others could live. And this climb is dedicated to all who responded on 9/11. And for those that followed, working the pilot ground zero for days, weeks, and months until that recovery effort was declared complete. This is the initial 343 commitment. That's still counting. 110th floor memorial stair climb for Battalion Chief Scheffold from Battalion 12. Coming to you live in the gym in Southern Park, New Mexico. We're getting vertical for our brother. Up down to the fourth to last vertical. On completion of this one, we should be over the halfway mark on this 110 floors. Taking our brother from the lobby of the South Tower to the top of the tower. Symbolically being carried with me right now, going to the top. I'm just putting in the footwork, carrying our brother up. This is why we climb. So their families, the FDNY, and our country knows that we will not forget the commitment and promise that was made on 9/11. To always remember, to never forget. Our brothers are climbed for all across the U.S. and across the world on 9/11 memorial stair climbs and runs. 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, and marathons in their honor. Right now, this is his climb. To take our brother all the way to the top. The self-proclaimed news junkie, father of 3 girls, who he always pushed his daughters to achieve higher, and then it said he pushed them even higher than that. Again, the only 2 I could find names on were Kim and Karen, but it's dedicated to his wife Joan, and all 3 daughters. And now we have officially pushed past the halfway mark on this climb for Battalion 12's BC Scheffold, who actually responded alongside BC Marchbanks of Battalion 12, who was on duty that morning, as our brother had just finished his 24-hour tour, and like so many others, jumped on no matter where they were at and responded on 9/11. Our brother was a painter and a sculptor, an avid athlete and runner, a father to his 3 daughters, a husband to Joan, 32-year career in the FDNY, 32 years of service to the citizens of New York. Our brother was 57 years old when he responded on 9/11. Upwards of 25,000 were saved because of the bravery, valor, and heroism that was shown by those who responded. The 343 brothers who gave their lives in the ultimate sacrifice so that others could live. People, they had no clue who they were. They were there, giving everything they could to rescue as many as they could. So now we're on the 3rd to last vertical. Like I said, once we get to the last vertical, put us at the 101, and it's only 9 floors to finish this memorial climb for our brother, Battalion Chief Fred Scheffold. Our brother was known to laugh when he got off shift with his relief, Chief Marchbanks. They would talk about the fire escape he slept on, or that time he took the lighter patient, victim, and left the heavier one for his partner. Again, he hesitated not one moment when it came down to the response on 9/11. He jumped on with Chief Marchbanks and responded. This is his memorial climb, finishing his 110 floors all the way to the top. This is why we climb, one at a time. And right now, this is for our brother on Battalion 12, Battalion Chief Fred Scheffold, for his wife Joan and 3 daughters. Dedicated to you all, so you know that he will always be remembered and never forgotten. This is now one step closer to the 12th milestone tomorrow. Down to 44 brothers left to carry on this 299th climb of the initial 343 commitment, and still counting. Part of the initial 343 climbs before the end, still counting, will take their place, carrying them up one by one for the time at the pile, working at ground zero in the recovery effort, working there for days, weeks, and months, recovering for the families, the FDNY, in our country. Taking them up. Going there now. 32 years of service given by our brother, who is 57 years old. 32 long years. Right now, this memorial is so he is never forgotten and always remembered, for his story to be told. This is why we climb. Taking our brothers up, telling their stories, so they don't just become a name on a plaque and a picture on a wall. For their families to know that we are keeping our promise and keeping our commitment. This is the 343 commitment and still counting. 110 floors for BC. Fred Scheffold, Battalion 12, housed in East Harlem with Engine 35 and Letter 14. Pushing him up all the way to the very top. Going there now with honor and respect. For our brother, who was able to hold a very intelligent conversation with anyone. Self-titled The News Junkie, because he would try to get his hands on anything he could read. Our brothers, daughters were pushed to greatness. And after that, he pushed them even harder. But for the right reasons. Our brother was a husband and a father. Our brother. Right now, we're going to the top. All the way there, with honor and respect. Pushing him to the very top. All right, so a little bit of a breather before that last vertical for Battalion Chief Fred Scheffold, Battalion 12, out of East Harlem. As I said before, he and Battalion Chief Marchbanks share a street naming together, as they were both from Rockland, and they both responded together on 9/11 to the South Tower, where our brothers went to work in the lobby, and our brother, Battalion Chief Fred Scheffold, had planned to go up to the 90th floor, pushing his way up towards that stairwell. When he heard the building and started assisting with safe travel and passage out, taking him all the way to that 110th floor. Coming up on this, the last vertical. Gonna get to that 100 and first floor with our brother finishing his footsteps to the 110th. Gonna get to that 101st, and it's 9 floors left for Battalion Chief Fred Scheffold. Again, our brother just finished his 24-hour tour, and he was just there talking to Battalion Chief Joseph Marshbanks, also Battalion 12, his relief. Our brother didn't hesitate to respond on 9/11 with BC Marchbanks. And due to the bravery, valor, and heroism that was shown by those who responded, upwards of 25,000 were saved. Taking him to the very top. It's hard to believe we're just about to reach the top. For our brother, Battalion Chief Fred Scheffold. Pushing him all the way to finish the 110th floor for his wife, Joan, and 3 daughters, who the 2 names I know were Kim and Karen. Carrying him up to finish those last floors for our brother with 32 years of service, the FDNY, 57 years of age at the time of his response. Going there now to finish his footsteps, his last floors. Taking him there. For our brother, who's a sculptor and a painter. And if I read it correct, his front door was purple at his house. He also created an insect sculpture with wood and metal. And that was in his front yard. For our brother who, when he took his family to a family amusement park in New Jersey, stepped out of the roller coaster line when he saw someone having a heart attack and responded. Didn't matter if he was off duty or on duty. And my brother, Battalion Chief Fred Scheffold, we reached the top, sir. Rest easy, sir. We'll take it from here.